Hey folks, I'm just getting everything started and just testing my levels. I don't want to blast your eardrums out. Yes. Today, if you didn't see the thing we're doing, we're listening to some video game music, and specifically today, we're mostly going to be listening to different tracks from the Dragon Quest series symphonic suites. Really, really beautiful music. And I'll kind of explain some things I've noticed while listening to these tracks, just in general, and like kind of if I can remember where they are in the games, I'll mention it, just to kind of give some of these pieces some context. So right now, I'm just going to test my levels, make sure I'm not blowing anyone's eardrums out. I'm not blowing anyone's eardrums out. Let's see. Just going to, because I know this one's quite loud. Okay, that's not awful. So I'm just going to put the volumes of these fairly low. And if it's too loud, just let me know as well. Cuz some of these tracks are very bombastic. And for the most part, like when I play certain sections, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to really speak much. Oh, sorry. Let's see here. And just kind of let music play, and then I'll like pause it when I have like a note or like want to explain something. Here, I'm just going to have a look here. Perfect. Okay. Just going to open this. Perfect. Okay. So, first music track that we are going to be listening to is this one specifically is from Dragon Quest 3. It's also in a lot of the spin-off games. It's also in 11. 11 has a lot of music tracks from a lot of the other games. It was kind of that game in particular was like almost like an anniversary edition of like that game has a few like unique tracks, but kind of like 6, it's got a leitmotif. You can really tell if a song is from 11 versus if it's from a different game. But this one is the prologue from 3. Uh, I'll play um, I'll play it until it kind of repeats, and then we can go in and kind of pick apart little pieces that I personally liked. Um, so let's take a look. See, okay, just gonna zoom in my waveforms. Perfect. So that's the prologue from three. Really beautiful piece. Um, and these are the symphonic suites because to me that's probably the most accurate of what the original vision was for these songs. Um, as many people know, the composer creator of Dragon Quest soundtrack is Koichi Sugiyama, who has passed away. Um, he's kind of an interesting person. From what I understand, he was quite quirky and a bit divisive, but his work is just phenomenal. Like this plays in spots where you're learning a lot about the world of Dragon Quest III. It's a prologue. So when you're learning about the world, it kind of introduces you to the ideas of, like, in my opinion, Dragon Quest is like a story, like a bedtime story, but for adults in a lot of ways. Like, where Final Fantasy is like this big kind of operatic, epic stage play. Dragon Quest to me is much more of a lullaby, a storybook, a fantasy in that way. It's just comforting in a lot of ways. But this piece in itself really sets the mood for Dragon Quest III's premise. It is one of the more somber entries in the series. For those of you who don't know, in Dragon Quest III, you are the child of Ortega, who is like this renowned hero, and things have been happening in the world, and you go on an adventure yourself to try and solve the problems. Go kill evil god. Your average Dragon Quest plot line. But it's interesting because Dragon Quest III introduces like classes, and you kind of pick and choose your own party members. There was a remake, a 2D HD remake, fairly recently, and I finished it. It was really good, really beautiful, and it had all of the orchestrated pieces, which, God, it just offers itself so beautifully to the game. Um, uh, yeah, like it's a game. It, like, if you want to play it, I recommend. You can play the remake. It is good. There's a lot of good quality of life stuff, but I always recommend playing the original games because they are intact and they're just wonderful games. I mean, like all JRPGs, Dragon Quest games are quite long, but um, it's worth playing them, really, I think. At least once. This piece, parts of it that I really enjoy, at least this version of it. I mean, if you play the original, it's all a chip tune because it was on the NES and then I think re-released on the Super Nintendo. There were a few re-releases of this one. The orchestrated version is the fullest version, but I mean, it's a lot of it is still intact, even in the chiptune versions. I find but really, like, it really sets you up for like a grand sense of this adventure, just like a quiet start to what is a bigger, just deeper storyline. It's a great track. A few areas I want to pay specific attention to is, I will find them here. This part here I really like, of the waveform here. I really like it because, like, there's a lot of variety in the time signatures of this piece. Well, not really, actually. The time signature is the same, but just the rhythms of the notes is varied in this piece. Right here, the harmonies are really nice. It almost introduces itself to, there's just a tragedy underlying these notes. Like, if you want to listen again, this part in specific. That's like the kind of chords you hear in like a dirge, or it's just, those chords are really beautiful together. And it's like, because 3 is more of a somber game, it kind of lends itself to that. At least I like to think so. Then let's see where that other part was I really wanted to draw attention to. Not that one. Not that one. It was, I think it was in the second space of it here. Yes, it was right here. So before this, you have this sweeping, kind of almost tragic, just phrasing in this whole piece of the song. But then you get here, like to this piece, and it's, the tone is a bit different. It's kind of interesting. So it's like part of the almost tragic bit, and then it's, but it's almost like, it almost introduces like a hope spot or some levity, which I find just, it's really refreshing in this song, that it has this variety, but it still doesn't come out of nowhere. It still ties in beautifully. And just the variety of instrumentation used here. Like this piece right here has the flute and piccolo. It goes from just strings to this flute and piccolo, just light, and just harp picks or violin. And then it ties together again with the strings. And you get clarinet, oboe right here, like woodwinds. And then it gets, and then it like swells again right here, and kind of back into the main phrasing. But in the orchestrated version, they add a bit of French horn here, and it's really nice. I'll put it back so you can listen to it again. So French horn, I love that instrument. It's just so rich sounding, and it's kind of interesting to hear it in the context right with a flute accompaniment or like a woodwind accompaniment, because usually when French horns in a piece, it's like in the forefront. It's heroic. It's right there. Like you can hear it, and it's out there, and it's powerful. But in this phrase here, it's almost kind of subdued, which I think is quite interesting. Oh, sorry, I go back. Oh, it's right here. So coming up here. It's really quiet and very subdued here, which is pretty neat too. Just kind of considering, like I said before, how bombastic usually in pieces like this the French horn can be. Yeah, no, I love this. I love this piece. It, like I said, kind of in the beginning, it's a piece that was used in 3, but it's also used in a few contexts in 11, and in those contexts, it fits really beautifully. I think it's also in a few of the spin-off games. I've definitely heard it in other games, like, because the thing is, the unfortunate thing is that whether or not what you feel about Koichi Sugiyama, whatever you feel about him, his work is phenomenal. And I don't think it's kind of like Akira Toriyama, where this is kind of like if you think Dragon Quest, you think of these sweeping, beautiful pieces. You think of the art style. And it's like, I think a lot of the reason why a lot of these songs are repeated in um, like spin off games is because trying to make new music, it it's it kind of is difficult to really capture that same essence that Sugiyama captured initially. Um, so it offers itself a really difficult thing. Like my main concern is that if we get a Dragon Quest 12, what is that going to sound like? Is it going to use these old soundtracks, or is someone else going to give it a go? I'm a bit nervous though because like this stuff is just timeless to me. It's incredible to me. But so that's the prologue from 3. Next over we have specifically like because in the symphonic suites, a lot of the songs are kind of put together. Um, the one I'm going to be focusing on is Over the Sorrow from 8. 8 is a pretty it's an interesting game. I would say like originally when it came out on the PS2, it was a synthesized soundtrack. And incidentally, that's the copy that's easily obtainable of the soundtrack is that synthesized PS2 soundtrack. And it's good, like it's really good, but really it misses out on a lot of that instrumentation that is just so important in these songs and in these beautiful soundtracks. So Over the Sorrow is this song usually plays when you're speaking to the Princess Medea in your dreams, and she's kind of speaking to you in your dreams because she's unable to speak to you any other way in this game. Um, she's been cursed and transformed into a horse. So this is the only way the main character is really able to kind of speak with her at length for a while, and it's just this beautiful piece. But I'll stop kind of talking about it, and I'll just have you listen to it. So before it gets into hurry, we are in danger. This, as you like, wow, this piece is just, to me, it screams comforting. Like, this is the kind of song you hear in your mind when you're getting tucked into your bed or you're near a fireplace and it's snowing outside. It's just comforting. And the idea that the main character is talking to like his childhood friend, his love interest, um it's it's comforting. It's going through most of this game. It's a long game that for mostly you don't talk to Medea. It's quite a bit later that you're able to actually talk to her after her being a voiceless horse for much of the game. And knowing that she's well aware of what's going on around her as a horse, she knows what's going on with your party members. And just being able to communicate to her. And it's that comfort you can really hear come through this piece. Similar to prologue, there is a lot of variety in the phrasing of this piece. Like, this piece is almost kind of like this phrase here. It's almost like a little bit foreboding, a little bit sad. Like there's that twinge of, remorse that comes from Medea being cursed, and everyone, Medea and her father both being cursed. And it's just like it offers itself to, it goes from comfort to discomfort to comfort again. It's a really beautiful piece. It's repetitive. I mean, a lot of these songs are, but really, it's again, like it's one of these pieces that really lends itself to the context of where it is found in this game. Just beautiful. Um, Again, I really like the choices of instrumentations here. Most of the symphonic suite is done by the Tokyo Symphony, which is just kind of the cream of the crop, really. But like stuff like this, oh, sorry. You can hear just everything swirl together. Like you're hearing your woodwinds, you're hearing your lower end brass. And it's just the phrasing of it is really beautiful. Like the volume dynamics just shift and swirl in such a beautiful and comforting way. So that's kind of that's what I feel about this piece in general. Um, yeah, honestly, I can't remember if this piece is used in a few other games, but I think it may be used in like spin-offs, like Young Yangus's Mystery Dungeon. I think is uses this piece in places. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've attempted that game, because a lot of it isn't really translated properly. It's a hard to find game. Um, but this is like there's a few pieces here that have been used in a lot of different games, but there are a few that aren't used in a lot of them. And I think this might be one of them. It really works best in the context of the game that it's from. So, yeah, that's Over the Sorrow, and that's from Dragon Quest VIII. Next up, this piece is a gorgeous piece. Like, okay, so 5 is a lot of people's favorite entry in the Dragon Quest series. From what I understand, the fandom's pretty varied on which ones they like the most, but unanimously, everyone really likes 5. And 5 was kind of that point where it balanced a lot of the tragedy that it was known for previously and a bit of levity that 4 brought. And it just it's such a beautifully constructed game where there's joy, there's sadness, there's fear, there's just anger, there's tragedy, there's it's such a great game. Like honestly, play Dragon Quest V. It's a hard game to find. It's a hard game to get a hold of if you want to get a physical copy. Like I think I think when I got my, I guess I like to try and own physical copies of games. When I bought an actual copy of Dragon Quest V for the DS specifically, it was pricey. Like and it's gone up since. Like I think I paid about 250 CAD for just the cartridge. It didn't come with case or manual or anything. But man, like it was worth it, I would say. It was worth it to just experience that game. It's so good. And since then, I've also got a copy of the PS2 version, um, kind of jailbroken into my PS2 so that it's translated, because a lot of the spin-offs don't have that beautiful symphonic soundtrack, but Five's PS2 version has it mostly intact. The DS also has a lot of it intact, but it's just not the same quality of sound that a PS2 would have. Um, but I will stop rambling and I'll let you guys listen to this because it's a fantastic song. Oop, oops, sorry. Go back to the beginning. Gotta remember that with Audacity it stays. Okay, okay. fantastic piece this is. I love this piece. It's one of my favorite in the series, probably. Just this beginning piece, it's like if you think about the context is that this piece plays when your main character, I mean, the main characters don't have super canon names, but Luca or Madison or whatever, the main character, the main protagonist, is trying to decide which of the brides he wants to marry. So it's just like the feelings that I get when I listen to this piece is just like there's that uncertainty, but also there's this playfulness that comes from, like, I don't know if many of you, like, when you get your first crush and just those butterflies you feel in your guts and in your heart, it just really encapsulate almost that unease that comes with just letting yourself be vulnerable to the idea that yes, I think I have feelings for someone. It I can't. Specifically, like these crescendos and like these trills here, like the trills of the strings here, it's almost like it it's like if you've ever watched a horror movie, um like when there's a suspenseful piece, sometimes in the soundtrack you'll hear like little trills of strings, or it's kind of like that here in a weird way, except instead of like a suspenseful scary, it's almost like that apprehension or like that anxiety that comes with um just I love it. The anxiety that comes from really working up the courage to tell the person that you have feelings for that you have feelings for them. Um, then it just goes into this elevated bit here where it's got almost a waltz. Like there's a waltz flow to the instrumentation here. I'll let you listen to it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da. Yeah, that's like a waltz rhythm. It reminds me because like in 5 later on, when you do choose your bride, it is called the Hand of the Heavenly Bride. When you choose the woman that you marry in this game, um, there's a piece that plays later that is like the song that plays at your wedding, and that is a waltz. So it's almost like a foreshadowing of other pieces in this game. It's really cool. Like a bit of foreshadowing. And just the instrumentation of this is beautiful. Like really, like the woodwinds and the harp strings really showcase like probably the anxiety that the protagonist is feeling. Like he's going out, like basically he has a night to decide who he's going to actually marry. And depending on what version you're playing, if you're playing the DS version, there's 3 options, but if you're playing any other version, there's 2. You're choosing between this girl that you've met on your travels that, Madison clearly has feelings for, and or your childhood friend, who, in my opinion, is the is the correct choice. Bianca's really good. Or if you're playing the DS version, also Deborah, who I pick. I love Deborah. She's so mean to me. But It's just that mulling over, and it's nighttime. Like, it's the kind of, like, the thoughts you get, it's like a summer evening, and like this main character is deciding who he's going to propose to. It just, the feelings that you get, you feel it in the pit of your stomach as well, as much as the main character would also be feeling it in the pit of his stomach. So it's just, I love this piece. I could go on forever about Melody of Love. It's so good. But we'll go to the next piece here. This one is again a mix. It goes into the second song, but I'll stop it before then. This song is from Seven. So Seven recently had a reimagine, like, remake. It's a good remake. This is my official hot take on this remake. Um, Honestly, just play the PS1 version if you can get it. It's really long. Like, it's really fucking long. I think I had like 200 hours by the time I finished, and I didn't even do everything. But it it flow like, there's a lot of content for a reason. It really builds on the world around you. Like, it really, like, the entire time you're there, you're learning about the world of Dragon Quest VII. You're learning about like, what happened and the people. Like, Dragon Quest VII was the first game to introduce party chat. So this game really focuses on your party members, really. It really focuses on, like, their likes, their dislikes, how they respond to things. Like, in the original PS1 version, you'll look at signs or you'll talk to people, and then you can talk to your party members, and they often have things to say about stuff, whether or not it's humorous. Or, it reminds me a lot of Earthbound in a lot of ways, where, like, there's just a lot of, not just like really deep and really sad and really dark elements. There's a lot of dark elements in Dragon Quest games, and this one is very dark. But also just that mix of levity, right? Like, in one scene, you'll be seeing, you know, villagers die, and or like experience this extreme tragedy. Like, there's this one part where there's this rain that turns people into stone, and there's only one or two people that have survived this long, and there's that guilt of not trying to take the statues out of the elements, not trying to take the statues out of the rain, so that, or the people out of the rain, so they don't just stay as statues and erode over time. Like, that's such an, like, I don't think Dragon Quest has really gotten that same level of just, you go place to place and there's tragedy and there's just, it's a big adventure. And really what I'm trying to say is that the remake that was made recently takes a lot out of it. Like, a lot of the really good thematic areas are just optional. And honestly, that really takes away, like, the voice acting. Oh my god, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. It's immaculately casted. However, I think that this is not the best way to be playing Dragon Quest VII. The best way is to be playing the PS1 version, which is a big ask considering how long of a game it is. But just the original Dragon Warrior 7 is also just translated so interestingly. Like, and it's like, it's really quite funny. In this original translation, there's like swearing, and I think Maribel calls one of the elemental spirits like a slut, which is, it just keeps you guessing. Dragon Quest VII for the PS1. But let's listen to Sphinx. This song plays when you're in the desert. You're on the desert island. and you're going through like the dilapidated castle with some of the remaining people who have survived like the tragedy of this section. So I'll turn it up a tiny bit because it's a quiet song. Okay. So yeah, that's Sphinx. And it doesn't it doesn't just play in like the desert section. It also plays in, oh, it's probably my favorite dungeon, which again isn't in this remake. It's such a neat premise for a dungeon. There's this part later on in the game where you're transported to an area, I believe in the 3DS version, like the one that most people have played, is called El Ciclo. And it's about this guy who's this kind of eccentric artist. And he made all of these buildings and these clocks and things. And in there, in the past of El Ciclo, it's really confusing because they've almost got like a Groundhog Day thing going on where like things are repeating and repeating and repeating because there's someone fucking around with the time stuff there. And there's this dungeon that is really, really cool. That's like based like the end fight is with like the Time Lord. He's the one who's causing like the Groundhog Day and the time repeats and that sort of thing. But like the whole, like, this is the first time you hear this piece, and it is it's like, whoa, this is so weird, like kind of mysterious, and like just that bottom end of the instrumentation, like those horns, it really almost is like, it is like an echoey kind of, like it's a hard vibe to describe, really. But I mean, it's called Sphinx. It really does feel like you're traveling through this big empty corridor where you don't know if there's monsters lurking around every corner. It really does feel like a big open room. Just because of that instrumentation, like specifically, like if you hear the lower end brass, it just feels open. open and just that's the best way I can describe it, is that it just feels like you're traveling through this open, echoey cave or dungeon. And then there's this part here. Like the staccatos here. Like that's such an interesting bit for a dungeon theme. Uh it's just, yeah, like I don't know how to describe it other than it's kind of tricky. Like when you hear it in the time dungeon, it's almost like mocking you in a weird way. Or like, okay, yeah, there's these puzzles, but you can't figure them out. But such a good song. Dragon Quest VII is underrated in my opinion. It's long, it's a bit bloated in parts, but God, you just play the PS1 version. It's so good. I'm just gonna eat. So if you heard rumbling in the background, I'm eating these Sour Patch Kids. I have leftover from Easter. My partner's stepmom got us so much candy, and I'm still working through it. You got to hear my gross chewing noises. Okay. This one has two in it, but I will play it in its entirety because both of these pieces are just phenomenal. And the sad thing is that Dragon Quest VI is very much not people's favorites. You can tell mostly when songs come from it, though, because there's leitmotif within a lot of the pieces of Dragon Quest VI. But these particular tracks, I don't think Pegasus has been used again, unless it's in a spin-off I haven't played. But Saint's Wreath was used in 11, and where it's put is just perfect for it. But I will turn it up slightly because they're both quiet songs. But I'll just let you guys listen because these are phenomenal. I've been saying that about every track, but these ones are just wow. Like, wow. I'm not even gonna overtalk this one. It's just beautiful. It's such a beautiful, beautiful piece of music. Two pieces of music, technically. So, next up here, there's a part of this section that I want to pay attention to. This one's another one from 3, actually. And this song plays kind of near the end. Just trying to see here if I can get the right time. Yeah, it's this one. So this one here is, I can't remember the exact title of the song. I think it's like The Hero's Trial or something. And this song also plays in 11. There's a couple other spin-offs it plays too. But man, like this is such a good song. It really gives you that feeling of like, yeah, you're at the pinnacle, you're at the end. This is like the last push, and you just need to put everything into it. So I'll stop talking and let you listen to it, actually. Just goosebumps. Like, ugh. Like this song, when it's used in other contexts, really lends itself to it. But there's this part in 11 that I remember it kind of most from. Because, like a lot of people, 11 was my first foray into Dragon Quest. It's the most accessible one. And God, is it ever good. A lot of people complain about its third act. I think it's thematically appropriate of a third act. However, I love it. This plays when you're fighting the final big bad, and it's really, really good. And then finally, This song is from 8. It's sort of the main, like when you first fight for real, one of the main seeming villains in the game. But then turns out it's not that person who's the villain, but something else. I won't really spoil it for you. But then this is another twofer. And then it's the final battle theme, and it also has leitmotifs from Heavenly Flight, if you've heard that one, which a lot of the games dip into other games, like 8 and 11 specifically have a lot of little bits and pieces of 3 in them. And you can really hear that as well if you know the song Heavenly Flight, which again, another fantastic piece. But I'll stop yapping and I'll let you listen. This is Dormagus is probably one of my favorite pieces in the entire series. And Great Battle in the Vast Sky is also one of my favorites. So I'm not even going to over-explain this. This is my favorite. I'll let you guys listen. Yeah, if that didn't blow your socks off, nothing will. Just fantastic. Oh my gosh. Um, I think really the last bit of advice I have for y'all is just play Dragon Quest. Play all of them. Just play all of them. Play Dragon Quest. It's a fantastic series with fantastic music. Even if you don't play them, just listen to the soundtracks. So good. If you're a fan of classical music and just big orchestrated soundtracks like I am, and just enjoy picking apart um, pieces of music and just listening to the different phrases, the different instrumentations, just dynamics. Yeah, just listen to this entire series. I That's your homework. Uh, well, thanks for coming, everyone. I'm really glad that I was able to share my love for the Dragon Quest series' music. I mean, that's a very small sampling, a very small tasting. But maybe I'll do another one of these streams again. Who knows? Sorry about my flaky schedule. Work has been kind of alternative. I've gotten a new line at work, so my schedule's changed again. And then often me and my partner are doing things on the weekends. But I will keep everyone updated. Best way to know what's going on is by joining our Discord, which is linked on my Twitch. And then just keeping an eye on the schedule there. That's probably the best way. Other than that, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Spring is here, thank goodness. I am so sick of snow. I don't know when my next stream will be, but I'm guessing again it'll be possibly again next weekend, depending on what I'm up to. And I don't know what I'll be playing. But probably something horror related. Look Outside came out with a new update, so maybe I'll do a quick run. Maybe I'll do a cursed run. Who knows? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my normal ramblings, and I hope to see you guys again next time for more gaming, I guess. All right. Talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching.